Yo, what's up? This is gonna be a guide for the Occultist, Spellslinger, Eye of Winter, Low Life, Energy Shield, character. So a long name. So this is a character that I made 2 weeks ago. There was like 3 people on the leaderboard. The build was super new. Right now there are like 12 people. I am rank 1, 99 levels. The next guy is 98, I believe. I'm not sure if I'm gonna push level 100. So we are gonna see. I will also probably write a written guide in the forum, so you can also maybe read that. So this is going to be a quick guide, hopefully. I will just explain the core mechanics, how this build works, what kind of things to look out for, you will just understand what's going on with the build. I also prepared links for items. Obviously didn't prepare links for obvious unique items, but for the rare items or lower budget, high budget, different kind of items, I prepared links. Right now we are in Expedition League, so the links are gonna be for that league 3.15. So you also follow those links if you want to buy the items easier. Obviously do not follow them blindly. If you don't need any of the stats, just delete them from the list. Just check what I typed, alright? So don't try to follow them blindly. So hopefully it's gonna be much clearer for maybe newer players or people who are not familiar with the build, the items, alright? So that is gonna be it. So first of all, the character we are using is an Occultist because she's good for cold builds plus low life. The talent tree is in a very good position. Void Beacon, minus 20 resist to cold, also reduce life regeneration rate, which is good for metamorph monsters and maybe some beyond bosses because they use Enduring Cry. Frigid Wake cannot be chilled, cannot be frozen, which is very nice after all these flask nerfs. So you don't need to use any freeze flask at all. More cold damage and lots of chill stuff. So you can even freeze map bosses, beyond bosses. So this character is very good for triple beyond, double beyond farming. I did that farm for like a couple of days. Farmed lots of exiles. I also put a video, maybe a sneak peek video a couple of days earlier. So maybe you already watched that. So she's very good for Glenak Cairn. Double triple beyond farm to make currency. Very good character. For Vein Bloom, your hexes can affect hexproof enemies, so you don't need to worry about hexproof maps, so you won't lose any DPS at all. Plus 40% chance to make enemies explode. It is that purple explosions, which is very gorgeous and helps with the clear, obviously. Plus we are also using Herald of Ice, so there are going to be lots of explosions and shattering effects. And finally, Malediction, additional curse. So our curses are Elemental Weakness and Sniper Mark. You only want to put Sniper Mark on the boss, not even beyond bosses, maybe the map boss or any of the endgame bosses, Conquerors, Cirrus, whatever you are killing. So do not even bother using that in maps on normal monsters. Effect of curse, obviously good. Finally, Malediction. Enemies deal reduced damage and take 10% increased damage, which is both good for defense and offense. So the build is Eye of Winter, new skill, very powerful. Shoots projectiles, which also chains automatically if you also use a Hydrosphere. So we have 2 Spellslinger support links. One is with Hydrosphere, one is with Eye of Winter. So you just use Frenzy, that is a wand skill. This build is played with a wand. So we just use Frenzy, it generates Frenzy charges, that's why we use that. And whenever you use a Frenzy, if you are not on cooldown, you will just cast Hydrosphere and Eye of Winter all the time. Obviously lowering cooldown is a good idea, because that's why we are using a cooldown reduction Labyrinth enchant, which is very cheap right now, because most people don't even play Spellslinger these days. After the trigger nerfs maybe, but we fixed that in this build. I will also mention that in a second. So the lower your cooldown, the higher the procs you are gonna get. Obviously you also need some good attack speed, otherwise your procs will go to waste. In the end, also consider using a Tailwind boots. And that's pretty much it. So with the Hydrosphere, obviously let's also explain that real quick again. So Eye of Winter normally shoots projectiles, and sometimes you can obviously miss the target. So it's gonna be a DPS loss on the bosses. That's why we also use a Snake Pit ring, which is pretty popular these days on these kind of builds. You want to put this ring on your right ring slot. So projectiles from spells chain +1 times, and cannot fork, that isn't important. Chain +1 times, so if any of the projectiles actually miss the target, the boss maybe, but that projectile, if that projectile hits Hydrosphere, which is pretty much 100%, I believe. It will just chain automatically from Hydrosphere to the boss. That's why you actually won't miss your projectiles that much. So Hydrosphere actually helps with single target DPS, also with some mapping. So very fun. It's like a mini disco ball that just follows you all the way. A very fun character, ultimately. So that is how that works. This is a low life build. Obviously, let's just talk about that. Because Spellslinger is a reservation skill, so you won't have much mana left normally. If you want to play with this build with a very cheap budget, you probably want to play as life version, but you cannot actually reserve any buffs at all, because all your mana reservation is gonna go for Spellslinger links, which will leave you absolutely no mana. So I actually don't recommend you to play this build as life version. That's why I only prepared a path of building for a medium budget, low life with Chevron's wrappings obviously, and then a higher budget, the ultimate version, the version that I made right now, but none of the clips are actually with those items. I actually haven't prepared any new clips after I bought the highest budget pieces. Maybe I will shoot new video later on, just the clips maybe, alright. So all the clips you are watching are actually with a medium budget, 20 Exalt, maybe 30 Exalt. Later on I also bought a Battle Fate, maybe up to 40, maybe 50 Exalt at most. So yeah, considering a medium budget build and does all content, just deletes everything. The build is also very tanky. I decided to go for tanky because most people on the leaderboard for some reason playing some glass cannon shitty version. I'm not sure why they do that. So right now I have 41% attack block, 44% spell block, which is not even glancing blows. So this is a pure block. So this character easily farms triple double beyond. You don't even get hit most of the times. You know, the deadliest, one of the deadliest beyond bosses, Hast, the one that casts cold spells all the time. He cannot even do anything to you thanks to these blocks. Plus we are chill and frozen immune. So the character is very tanky. Can also face tank Minotaur, those kind of bosses. Ridiculous. So let's talk about the low life real quick. So obviously using Chevron's wrapping, so cast damage does not bypass energy shield. If you don't use this body armor, you're gonna die to cast damage. That's why this is a best in slot and a must item. And a Prism Guardian, so you can reserve your life for auras. You know, I just mentioned reserving Spellslinger from our mana, so you don't have any mana left for buffs. That's why playing with a low life plus Prism Guardian shield, so you can just reserve a lot of auras. Zealotry, maybe I butchered the pronunciation, I actually don't know how to pronounce that. Discipline for energy shield, and Hatred for cold damage. These are our auras. These are all in our Prism Guardian shield. You can just reserve them easily because Prism Guardian has, where's that? Socketed gems have 25% reduced reservation. So very easy to reserve, lots of auras. Once you are high level, once your mana is comfortable, you also want to use a Herald of Ice on your mana reservation. I am right now playing with like maybe 70 mana, and that is enough. Actually I have lots of mana regeneration, so I am not even using a mana flask, by the way. After all these trigger nerfs, custom crit builds, these kind of Spellslinger builds, they are all got nerfed, maybe because they right now also consume mana for each trigger, but we also fixed that. I am using a couple of levels clarity from the rest of my life reservation. I actually have like maybe 10 life left, I'm not sure. A very low life, alright. So that clarity regeneration, plus I am using only one mana reduction. What's that? Total mana cost reduction, yeah, with Replica Conqueror's efficiency. Maybe you can also craft mana cost on your ring and maybe skip this jewel. I haven't tried it because rings can have -7. If you use Fertile Catalyst, it goes to -8 actually, but Replica Conqueror's efficiency provides -9. So better in the end, but obviously maybe a waste of jewel slot, I'm not sure, but this is how I fixed my mana problem. Right now I can just sustain my mana. I don't even need to use any mana flask at all, so problem fixed, nerf fixed, bypassed, whatever. So 3.15 still viable, these kind of Spellslinger builds, if you know what you are doing. And I believe that's pretty much it. The rest of the gear, again, I put lots of links, so I'm not gonna mention everything because the videos goes very long and YouTube refuses to share long videos. That's why these are gonna be shorter videos these days. And I believe it is better for newer players because there are gonna be lots of trade links. So if you don't know how to search for an item, that's gonna be good, obviously. Maybe let's just mention a couple of other items. Presence of Chayula, because this is again a low life build. Makes you stun immune. Lots of chaos resist. I right now have, I believe, 15 chaos resist, which is enough. You don't die if you have some. If this kind of chaos resist is actually way more than enough. You won't die because chaos damage actually doesn't hit you that much if you only just invest just a little bit, you know. And this is way more than enough. Plus life convert energy shield, which provides maybe that 1000 energy shield, something like that. Let me just check. In the path of building, this amulet right now provides me 1.6k energy shield. Ridiculous. I'm just checking path of building right now to see if anything misses. And finally, some jewelry. A ruby ring I picked for the resistances. You can pick another base. You will need a little strength. That's why if you put it on your ring, it's gonna be good. You can also maybe get 30 strength on the talent tree, which I haven't picked. So make sure that you fix that strength issue. After that, energy shield and resist. Nothing that special. Actually, I don't even have any DPS on my rare ring. And finally, a belt. A crystal belt for even more inner shield. Inner shield plus max inner shield. If you still need maybe a 1 resist. If you want to invest in further. Spell damage during any flask effect. Or if you want to go crazy, maybe just put cooldown. Or maybe cold damage on redeemer bases. You can do maybe some crazy stuff. But these kind of medium budget belts just carries you all the way through. And that's pretty much it. Just follow the links, follow the path of building for the rest. And hopefully this is a quick guide. I'm not sure about the time right now. So I have maybe like 3 more guides coming soon. Because it's been a month. People just farmed currency and waiting for good builds these days. I have some ridiculously powerful builds coming soon. And some of them are actually not, they are not meta builds. I'm not gonna give any hint. They're gonna be surprise. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but there is also a separate video which have all the gameplay uninterrupted with the music at the background. Go and watch that if you want to see more gameplay. And that's pretty much it. Again, maybe I will just put a newer video with the highest budget version that I just made. The videos doesn't use those gear. Again, I am telling you, they were recorded on medium budget with 30-40 Exile of investment. So maybe I will just shoot a newer video later on, but I am not really sure because that isn't needed. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, so it helps. And you can also join my Discord if you have any questions. Don't forget that. We talk all the time, help people all the time. And that's pretty much it. I will see you later. Bye bye.